It's the Dubplate Special Master.
Live and direct.
Breakfast with Cubcamtv.
Trickstar Radio.
Yes then, people, we are back inside the building once again. How are we feeling this morning as we jump into yet another live EP review here on The Breakfast Show? Now, I absolutely love doing these. We get to explore music across so many different fields and share it with our fantastic listenership. I love reviewing album projects and I love talking about them, and that is exactly what we're going to be getting into today. Now, obviously, if you are listening in, you can check back the videos for these reviews over on youtube.com/CubCamTV, as today we check out the brand new EP from Tems, which goes by the name If Orange Was a Place. Now, this dropped a couple of days ago. It sort of dropped a little bit under the radar, probably potentially overshadowed by a couple of recent collaborations that have been doing absolute bits, but we are going to talk about this and kind of dive into a bit of a story about Tems as well. So she's been very much the name on the tip of a lot of tongues recently, over the course of the last year at least, with a pretty meteoric growth taking place over that time period, primarily due to a number of high-profile collaborations and having a fantastic presence in general. Now, this journey of this meteoric rise obviously begun with her feature on Essence, which without a doubt was going to become one of the most popular tracks of this year, despite the fact it actually did drop last year on Made in Lagos. And it's never really shown any signs of slowing down, shall we say. It's constantly moving forward, and the momentum on this project has been absolutely spectacular. The track has gone on to become probably the most popular track on the album, and then of course we did recently see that brand new collaboration with Justin Bieber as he gets involved on the remix duty for it. So in general, I don't think it actually needed the remix, but there's no denying that having that extra presence on there, that huge pop presence that Justin Bieber brings, there is no doubt that that does open it up to a whole new audience. As I said before, you can check out the review for that one over on youtube.com/CubCamTV. The original and the remix, there's clips of both of them up there. But what we're going to do now, obviously, is look even further forward, because recently she did land on Drake's now already infamous Certified Lover Boy project, being one of the few international collaborators involved with Fountains. Now, for me, this is one of my most favorite tracks on there. It's one of the most popular tracks in general, and it's one of the most talked about tracks on the album as well. So this has left Tems in my opinion, a fantastic position as she now moves forward with this high momentum she's gained off these collaborations and moves into a very interesting new 5-track EP, which does go by the name If Orange Was a Place. Coming off the back of such an incredible pair of collaborations, it's always going to be kind of difficult to kind of keep the bar as high as it has been with a solo drop, but upon the first listen to this project, I do genuinely think she's handled this pretty much on the money. As I said before, it features 5 very solid creations, not sticking to any sort of typical Afrobeat themes, but in fact exploring a much wider range of musical themes, which plays to Tems' advantage without a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion. We kick off with Crazy Things, which is a very mellow yet highly melodic creation, providing quite a subtle range of rhythmic action. When we look through it, we hear Tems explore quite a wide range of vocal maneuvers. The track has a really kind of melancholy vibe going on, with the lyrics exploring the need to find some additional headspace, which gives her the room to really get across the emotion within her vocal tones. A really cool way to open it up. Track 2 takes the name Found, and it sees the only collaboration on the project take place as we welcome Brent Faiyaz, another recent collaborator with Drake as well. He gets involved, he comes to the table for a much more sort of typical singer-songwriter style creation on this one. Loads of drawn-out guitar plucks and sort of subtle bassline maneuvers give the track a real kind of open and ambient vibe, playing on a lot of typically Western pop themes in the way the track's put together, and it has an almost lounge style of compositional value. Brent really shines on this, bringing his more sort of R&B centric style of vocal performance into the fray, with a top-notch verse on his part. Next up, we get into my personal favourite track on the project, which does go by the name Replay. It's a shiny, subtle yet spectacular take on the Afrobeat sound of the now, doused in both sweeping electronic guitar riffs and colourful percussive textures. For me, this is where Tems really shines the most, providing the perfect amount of comfortable vocal energy to turn the track into an undercover wine that we have been looking for. A proper house party classic in the making, this one, with some sing-along elements all rolled into the mix at the same time. So fantastic stuff on that one. We then get back into a wider musical sphere on the next track, which goes by the name Avoid Things, focusing on the majority of the sort of segments within the tune on backing production and fluttering guitar leads, its driving bass tones to deliver a really solid backdrop. Tems uses this to let loose a more emotive style of lyricism and a general showcasing of her vocal prowess. She has such a jazz-applicable tone to her voice that this is a much more sort of loungy style. Again, something we keep seeing her fall back on in the sort of way the tracks have been put together. And to me, the production on this one is very much a sort of central comfort zone I'm expecting to see her move with a lot more moving forward. Now, finally, we move into a zone-out track not too far from the sounds of Fountains or Essence, in my honest opinion. The creation of it is very much in that kind of vein. It goes by the name Vibe Out, and it gives us a wicked outro track, seeing Tems flex the higher areas of her vocal range with a delicate performance topped with wavy backing sweeps over top of a pretty stripped-back style of percussive arrangement. Now, the project as a whole really, really works in the way it's put together. Personally, I'm a massive fan of the fact that it's quite an eclectic selection. It's not based on one sort of sound and the entire thing is riffed around that. There is quite a lot of different influences going on with this one, and it does showcase her as an artist rather than just the person who does the features on sort of international Afrobeat tunes, if that makes sense. It really puts her into a really, really good light. That then wraps up the project, which I did really, really enjoy. I feel we're still nowhere near seeing the top of Tems' ceiling. Personally, I think we've still got a long way to go before we hit the top of her potential, and this project is already solid, so that just says how good she is going to be moving forward. It definitely does the job, though, and I am very, very keen to see what happens next for her. As I said, it does go by the name of, I've nearly forgotten the name, it does go by the name of If Orange Was a Place, but this is a really enjoyable EP, and we're going to get into the final track of the project next. It goes by the name Vibe Out, and again, a wicked selection overall. If you do enjoy these live EP and album reviews, please do let us know, because I'm always keen to do them. I love breaking down stuff live on the radio. I love listening through projects and making my points of what I want to talk about. We are live on Trickstar Radio this morning, though, people. Make sure you are sticking around. It's going to be a very enjoyable rest of the day. Just coming up to 29 minutes past 7 here at CubKXVU, at Trickstar Radio, on the socials. Get involved and let us know how your mornings are going. Oh, yes.
This is Breakfast with Kxvu, bringing you their morning flavours on Trickstar Radio.
Trickstar Radio.